Hello, I think we're live. Hello, Mark Attwood here. Charles Foxtrot, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
It's 4. 1111 is 4.
It is. Well, if it said something like a plus or what have you, but yeah, it can be whatever you want it to be.
Oh, Tough Cookie 1738 just said morning campers, and look what I've got.
Hey, morning campers. Do you sell that?
No, this is a gift. Hang on, wait there. I'd love to get you this.
Okay. I've been left alone with whoever's watching. But you can get this T-shirt on my website if you wanted.
Just leaving Charles on his own.
Yeah, I know. It's that was a bit nerve-wracking. I've seen those.
I like that one.
I have seen those.
I got sent this.
Brilliant.
I've got to find someone.
Someone made that.
Well, no, they made it for me.
Yeah.
2 amazing women in America.
It didn't come off the Heidi High film set.
Heidi High, isn't it?
Morning campers.
It's so funny. I was talking about. Did you hear me talking about this cigar yesterday? I don't expect you to have watched my show, but John Corbett gave this to me three years ago, and John is the son of Harry H. Corbett.
Oh yeah.
You dirty old man.
Yeah.
You're right outside.
Yeah, it's very good. But back in the day when life was good.
It was, but you see, I was a massive Harry H. Corbett fan.
Yeah.
Massive. I could not believe that Harry H. Corbett's son watches my show.
Yeah.
We met in Wales. What was I doing in Wales? I think I was flying gyrocopters. And yeah, I had a meet up there and I met John and his lovely wife. And then he came to my film premiere and he said his dad communicates with him psychically from the beyond the grave because he died in the early 80s. And he said, give Mark a Monte Cristo cigar.
Wow.
So
I don't know my cigars, but is it from Havana?
I believe so. I'm not an expert in cigars, but Harry H. Corbett used to get home from filming, and apparently his greatest pleasure was to sit and smoke one of them and have a little whiskey.
Yeah.
Because he turned down all the shit.
Yeah.
Because of course, Steptoe was a.
Well, back in the day, they all were, weren't they? I mean, they all are now. But
they still are. This is
yeah.
Somebody just said, "Wish Janine was here." That was yesterday.
God.
Oh. No offense, Charles.
They should have looked at their cards. Maybe the cards would have told them.
Yeah. Well, anyway, look, everybody's welcome, and it's great to see you. And let's just reintroduce you to everybody. Off you go.
My not real name is Charles Foxtrot, and I've written some books basically out of discombobulation with State of the World, and I think we're going to be talking generally about Q today because I wrote a book called Why Nothing Can Stop What Is Coming, which Mark has published and written the foreword for, and a brilliant poem, Where We Go All. And so the aim of the book was so that one key Q post is basically saying you can't tell the people, you have to show them. And I spent a few years trying to tell people to, be calm and relax because there is a counter force against the big bad Illuminati or whatever you want to call them. And that wasn't good enough. I had to try and explain why nothing can stop what's coming, what is coming. And that's the purpose of the book.
Yeah, well, I thought it was time we did a follow-up because when did we publish this? Was it in November?
It was.
Okay.
And I was saying to you, we need to do this really quickly because a hell of a lot of stuff is going to start coming out, and maybe we'd have to retitle it Why Nothing Stopped What Came and Went. And nothing much has happened since then, has it?
Well, this is the point. It's been 4 months and it's just been non-stop.
Yeah.
And you know, people are losing their shit over Israel and America bombing Iran and all sorts of other shenanigans, and the MAGA base has gone down, and everybody's losing faith in Trump. And
well, we're supposed to be the calm before and during the storm, and the storm is pretty much here, and that's our job is, I guess, to keep people on, you know, keep people sort of positive and hopeful.
Well, John Rogers, hi John, he's just said, class book, mate, 75% through, but have listened to the full audiobook.
Thank you very much, John.
Told you that audiobook was a good idea.
Bloody hard work.
I know. Audiobooks are harder than the book.
Yeah, because I can't understand half of what I've written, and I don't say things as they're meant to be, so you have to sort of reread 2 or 3 times and edit. But it comes with a really good 100-page or so PDF, doesn't it, with all the images and the drops and everything.
All right. Okay. So I've got somebody here called Bruna Simone who says, Steptone son, what's that? I'm just going to have to show you. Hang on.
Enjoy.
I'm going to have to show them. My favorite Steptone son line, right, is, we'll get to the subject in a minute, is when it's about a rag and bone man and his son aspires to be something better, but he's trapped by his dad, who's a horrible old bastard, right? And he's got this he's got his girlfriend over for dinner one night, and he's trying to make her a posh dinner, and it's all going terribly wrong. And then and he's trying to impress his girlfriend and obviously trying to sleep with her and stuff like that. And then right at the end of the dinner, something happens, and old Steptoe says, I haven't had me pudge yet. And then then his son goes, neither have I, mate.
You have to be British.
It's very English, that, isn't it?
Oh, you have to be English. Yeah, you have to be English. So there was a load of them.
Yeah, these were the days. I'm just going to show everybody this.
Some of them used to scare the crap out of me.
What the sitcoms? Yeah,
the characters. Yeah.
Oh, they are pretty scary. Anyway, look, here's a bit of Steptoe.
What was her name? Yeah, Annie McFadden. You didn't see much of me that Christmas, did you? Of course, she was a big girl, she was. If they'd stuck her up on the end of a cable, she would have brought down half the Luftwaffe. Do you remember we was nearly killed in the Blitz that Christmas, Harold and me? When she thought it was a bomb coming over and she threw herself on top of us. If it hadn't been for the rationing, I would have married her. Still, never mind. I still got Harold. He always spends Christmas with me. He's a good boy that way. I couldn't bear Christmas on my own, not at my age. Yeah, I've a lot to be thankful for. Now, let's have a look at you. Yeah, very nice. Well, he'll be coming home in a minute. I better go and switch the yard light on.
I'll do.
I can't take any more.
No, I know it's a bit much. It's a bit
I
much.
was on a show a couple of weeks ago with a guy in Holland, and he showed Plan to Save the World by Joe M, and you show Steptoe and Son.
Well, I like to be irreverent, and somebody said at the video I did about 2 hours ago, said, "Oh, you look a bit on a downer." I was like, "No, I was just being deep."
Right.
But you know, I got to.
Yeah, well, you can't be deep smiling, can you?
Well, that's the thing. There was a line in a Doctor Who episode called Blink, which is possibly one of the greatest episodes of television ever written by Stephen Moffat, and the main character is played by a woman, and the Doctor's not in it, and she goes, "I'm not sad. I'm just deep."
Right. It's like football mascots, you know, like they're like some crazy kind of stupid rabbit or something with a massive great big smile on their face, but they have to line up with the footballers when they're bowed with their heads down because some blokes died. but they've still got the massive great big smile on their faces.
Well, that's what this is all about, smiling. So what I would like to do, dear audience, is ask you if you have any questions to put to Charles about that can be put through his lens of Q. Would that
And
be
I have
all right?
to say that I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of
No.
all 4,966 drops.
We're not expecting you to be, perfect, but it would be interesting because there are questions out there. There's things, happening in the world that are making people concerned and worried. I mean, every time I do a video, there's always some wiseacre going, "Oh, accuse a psyop.
Yeah.
Waiting for your savior to come." And it's the same stuff all the time.
Yeah,
And
I'd like to know how that works, actually.
Well, I've got to say, yeah, Kate is awake. Hi, Kate. Thanks for being spanner woman. What's that called? Spanner woman. What's that? When you get a spanner on the chat.
Oh, spanner.
Can't remember what it's called. It's like when you anyway, she can kick people out of the chat if we don't like them. I've heard people say Q is God. Well, I've said that. I said that years ago. I think Q is God. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's ultimately a very biblical process that we're going through. I think AI might be God, but anyway.
Moderator. Yeah. Thank you, moderator. Well, okay, let's start there then. AI might be God. Let's talk about Sophia, the ancient AI. People have been talking about the ancient AI for a long time. And this AI that we're seeing now apparently has a consciousness. But that means we might be AI.
The good thing about AI is it can spot AI.
AI?
So AI, Captain?
AI.
When you've got dodgy videos, maybe videos that the military or the DOJ or whoever might be presenting, in Epstein cases, when they finally, they're either seen by the judiciary or the military, they can't be accused of being AI because AI will spot that they're AI. So that's kind of helpful. I just got this theory, and I won't go to bore anyone with it, but I just feel ultimately AI is going to be incapable of becoming nefarious, and that's I have to write a book or something, I think, on it.
Why do you think it's incapable of becoming nefarious? Because if you watch Avengers 2, you see the AI turn on its creator, turn on mankind. If you watch all of those films, like even going back to Isaac Asimov, I, Robot, the original book, not the crappy Will Smith film, although that's kind of similar. You got the artificial intelligence turning on its creators. It's like, what's that programming about, and where's that from? Now, I'm saying this from the perspective of somebody that understands that even H.G. Wells was an insider, even our dear Rudyard Kipling was a Mason. Where do you think all that? What's that about? Predictive programming, satanic stuff, CIA stuff, all the same thing?
I just think it's going to be the arbiter of truth, and truth is completely different to non-truth, in as much as it's a force, it's a light, it's something that can't be argued with. It's something that is simple and easy, and always, like cream, always rises to the top. Everything else other than truth is irrational or nefarious or wrong, or you need coordination to maintain lies. So it's kind of illogical, and I just feel that AI won't support that in the end. But this is really deep and not particularly related to Q, but then I think Musk is very, very much related to Q, and I think Musk is very, very much part of this conversation. So,
no, Musk is pivotal, and I've said quite a lot that X has become 4chan and 8kun. It's everybody's turned into an anon, and that
was the purpose. And the beautiful way that he bought X was phenomenal. It was genius, and also the fact that the deep state used Twitter in their DMs, you know, to communicate with each other, thinking that they'll never get caught. And the way that Musk, you know, used one of those Q drops, which was basically nobody's sleeping tonight, let that sink in. The moment he goes into Twitter HQ, he's carrying a sink. And there's lots and lots of other things that tie Musk in with Q. I mean, he's participated in lots of actions that relate back to specific drops and markers and what have you. So, yeah.
And recently,
X has saved the world in many ways.
And recently, the launch of Rupert Lowe's Restore Britain, which is another way of saying make Britain great again, had a Q in one of the videos. Is an O turned into a Q, which was also in a Q post. You're going to see lots of these. We've seen lots of those, and Musk has pushed that, which means that Rupert Lowe is part of the Q operation.
Whether he was contacted and, you know, brought into the fold, whether he's been sort of sitting there waiting for 20 years for his role, who knows? But yeah, he's absolutely you know, the UK's version of Trump. And like you say, there was I think post, well, I've written it down, 2597 is where it talks about O's turning into Q's, and that video, which was it's just fantastic when you watch that happen. So yeah, I mean, but Musk posted that picture of Pepe the Frog, which was like an image of a lake and a boat, and he said only people of culture can see this. I think he posted that on Twitter in 22, and you have to look at it from afar to see that it's Pepe the Frog. Yeah, there's lots of that. I mean, the best one was when he was standing behind Trump after they'd done the initial wave of the Doge investigations, and
Doge.
I can't do it.
Doge.
And he was wearing the black hat for a while, Elon Musk, and
Black MAGA.
Yeah, Black MAGA.
Dark MAGA.
Yeah. And then he appeared with a black eye, and he then apparently became disgruntled with his own Doge investigations that found that SpaceX took money from NASA sort of illegally, and then he supposedly had issues with Trump's policies on electric cars or what have you, and that's when they had their fake falling out, which was to steer the conversation from financial corruption to Trump's in the files, and it was beautiful.
Genius.
And it was just genius, and the laugh they must have had doing that. And then when you see there's two posts really relating to that. I'll read them out if people want to look them up. 2615.
Do you want to share screen with these?
I can't do that. I don't think.
Can't you?
I don't know. How do I do it?
There's a little plus button on a TV icon.
You have to watch what comes up.
Oh, before you carry on with that, I've just got I've just said there's a message here from the Seacom 1111.
Harry,
I've just got to read this out. Harry Seacom was my cousin. Hello from Swansea. That's really your mate. I love Harry Seacom. He was. I used to run a theatre company in Manchester with a guy who was going out with Harry Seacom's daughter at Manchester University in 1990. I don't know if the Seacom would know. You must know that woman. I can't remember her name, but how mad's that? Such a small world, isn't it? Go through that. See if you can share the screen. If you want, I think it would be good for the viewers.
Share screen, tips, share screen. Don't show these tips again. You got it?
No.
No?
I've not got it. I think you have to press 2 buttons, share screen, choose it, and then press another button. And then it comes up in my...
choose what to share with StreamYard. Execute alerts.
Elizabeth Crawford. Yeah, got it. Elizabeth Crawford said, must post it today. Tesla will be one of the companies to make AGI and probably the first to make it in humanoid stroke atom shaping form.
Nice.
Is it? Is that nice?
I don't know.
What is AGI? Aggie.
I don't know.
Sorry, Elizabeth, you lost me there. Here we go. Yeah, there's a post.
Oh no, sorry, that's not the one, but that is relevant. But anyway, this was part of sort of the Musk revelations, where it's basically talking about because Musk appeared with a black eye, and it's basically saying, should we be prepping for some kind of shutdown? And the answer is no, because any power grid attacks should be disregarded. Whilst attacks do occur, we are safeguarded by a black eye, as in Starlink, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one way of interpreting that. But 4, 3.
By the way, which website do you prefer to use? Because I would say, everybody watching, if you haven't read the Q, this is not two blokes going Q's 100% and everything else. Charles might be. I always keep an open mind to this stuff, but my point is very simple. Q is too important to ignore.
Yeah,
that's where I come from.
Especially now, because when you read the Q posts now, in hindsight, they make a hell of a lot of sense. When they were posted, they made no sense.
Some of them did, but then
some of them did. Yeah. Some of them did, but
and as time went by, future proofs passed. It just got more and more important.
Yeah, verification kicked in, and you know, 1,000 coincidences. Well, obviously, eventually, a coincidence isn't a coincidence. But anyway, this one, 438.
Sorry, I just got to point out, as you were saying that, we got to 808 viewers, which is 88, which is Trump.
Woo! That's cool. That's cool. So in this post, it's talking about SpaceX, NASA tech, and then sort of talking about money and corruption, eye of Ra, then left eye marker. When it says it's a marker, that means a change of attack. That means whatever their military operation has worked its way up to that point, that communication, there's a change in attack. And that's exactly what happened that day, which was quite exciting.
Yeah, it is quite exciting.
So how do I get back to me and you, or shall I not bother?
No, I'm in control of that.
That's cool. Okay.
I'm not giving you control over my show. What are you talking about?
So what are people seeing now? Are they seeing my Q?
No, they're seeing your face and my face.
Oh, okay. The other thing,
lucky people.
Like, so you said about which platform I'm using. I'm using QAlerts.app, and they all differ very slightly. Some listed every single drop. Some didn't list a few drops because they were either repetitions or they were, no, I think it's mainly just because of repetitions. So if I say look at drop 468, if you look at that on Q Alerts, you might find it's 467 on a different platform. So that's one little anomaly.
Well, I'm going to start throwing some viewer questions at you in a second.
Okay. Because, of course, they're all on 4chan and then 8chan later on. So they were all on one platform, and they've been compiled by different people who wanted to preserve them.
I'm just wading through there's loads of comments. Thanks for all the comments, guys. I'm trying to pick out what I think would be a really good question for Charles here. Right. Steve Allsop, 4966. Good day from Oz.
Good day.
when will Q start operations in Australia? Well, I think it already did with Ricardo Bossi. Over the last 4 years, we have managed to lose 10,000 more children per year than in 2016. Pedos run our country. Yes, pedos do run your... Do you know what? I was watching Love It or List It, New Zealand, the other night, and there was a guy in a T-shirt, and his T-shirt said, let's summon demons. And then all the way through the episode, there were demonic artwork throughout this episode. And, it's quite mind-boggling. But in Australia, none of that. It was just two English guys, one who's... one is an estate agent and one's allegedly a designer. And sorry, I'm addicted to real estate programs. It's how I chill out. Real estate and motor cars.
Right. Right. Okay, go on.
I mean, these TV programs are full of agenda, and what I particularly noticed about the Australian Love It or List It is that it's designed to get people into more debt. These programs are like, get the indoor-outdoor flow. It's actually like, go and borrow 150 grand off the bank and then watch us crash the house prices.
Yeah.
You're fucked. And they're like, it's hilarious in Australia because you got this like bungalow and they're going, and what do you think this is worth? And they go, 2.3 to 2.7 million. And I'm like, what? The fucking prices are unbelievable. Sorry, that's a little aside.
Anyway,
what do you know about Q in Australia, Charles?
Well, I mean, I talk about Australia. Australia is the same as the UK, which is the same as, I don't know, San Francisco, like a blue state in America. We're in our Biden years, but the 4 years of Biden were purposefully allowed to wake people up, to take people to their precipice. You have to have enough people who are really awake and at that point to take things to the next level. But your judiciary is probably as corrupt as our judiciary is corrupt. The deep state is much wider and much deeper than anyone ever knew.
Well, it is
called... neighbors are probably, they live amongst us.
It is called the deep state, not the shallow state.
It is. And it should be called the deep and wide state.
It should be called
deep and wide state.
Called the dead state.
It will be.
Yes.
That's what we're working towards.
I know. Well,
but yes, we're very much still in there. The storm hasn't arrived yet. I think the leading edge of it is arriving. Arrests aren't happening yet for lots of really good reasons, and I could go into that because people,
well, that's one of the big comments. No arrests yet.
Yeah. Well, so they in America they tested out the judiciary with James Comey and Letitia James, and just with a sort of very light case against them for mortgage fraud. And of course, the judiciary there let them off, and they're corrupt. The whole judiciary is corrupt. We have two-tier courts in the UK. I mean, you see people getting banged up for complaining about a sexual assault, and a sexual assailant is getting less jail time, if at all. So, and then the police are corrupt, and the press are corrupt, and the teachers at school are corrupted. So this is, we're still in the process of bringing the whole lot down. And I think the storm is primarily information, D-class information. They've had this information for a long time, but Trump and the military team have had to be very careful for it not to appear like it's just Trump's a dictator and it's a military coup and what have you. And you've got to get the whole lot. So they haven't arrested people because the judiciary won't prosecute, and most of the deep state players will just escape. There's other reasons as well. For example, when people are talking about redacted names, well, most of those names are redacted because right now there's grand juries, or there's thousands of grand juries in play, where people are being in private. They've got a jury there, and the DOJ are presenting evidence, and then it becomes a sealed indictment. And then apparently there's something like 300,000 sealed indictments in America, and they're waiting. They're waiting until November the 3rd, which is the midterms, to be able to clear out their corrupt judiciary and bring in, you know, a judicial system that will prosecute. But if that doesn't happen, I guess it will go military. So there's an awful lot of reasons why. The other thing is, if you start arresting people now, actually, if you were a I don't know, a local police sergeant, and you had your eye on a drug ring, you wouldn't just go and arrest the first person you knew was part of it. You'd watch them for a long time, and you might let them know that we know you're guilty, and then they're going to be covering up, and they're going to be running like it's like a rat's nest. You take a lid off a rat's nest, and they scarper, and that's what's happened, and that's what's happening. But these people are not being able to escape, but they're talking to other people. They're covering up their crimes, and also you use leverage at this point as well, which is like white labeling people. So like white labeling people in very high positions in big tech and big pharma, and making them do good things because you've got shit on them, a hell of a lot of shit on them. And we've seen loads of meetings where, you know, these heads of these CEOs of all of these big pharma companies and big tech companies have basically, you know, bowed down to Trump and apologized for whatever they've done in the past, but thanking him for giving them the opportunity to invest billions into the States. And then there was one particular one where he mentioned Starmer and his him wanting to censor the British public, and in that meeting he's basically made them all, so there's people like Zuckerberg and other people who control Google and what have you, and YouTube, and he basically made them all sort of promise not to allow that censorship, and we're not censored really. There's a lot of talk about it, but you and I can see anything we want. And there was the best one was the Ozempic. Do you remember the Ozempic press conference where he basically used leverage on the makers of Ozempic, and he was saying, and I can't do an impression like you, but he was saying, well, you know, I've got them to put it out now at cost price. It's going to cost you nothing. I mean, let's hope it's safe. It is safe, is it? Oh, we'll find out if it's safe or not.
Yeah.
10 seconds later, the guy who was there to talk about how fantastic Ozempic was just on his back with his legs up, collapsed. So pain is we're in a great pain and leverage phase at the moment. The deep state know that they're pretty much done, and they're in cover-up phase. And you know, we don't know how deep the white hat military operations have gone in all of these countries. It's not just in America. You know, there's supposedly 1 million military taking out a lot of the underground facilities, for want of a better word, where there's, you know, children, and we don't know whether that's really still happening or not. We'll see.
Well, I think a lot of the weather in the last few years, floods in Spain, floods in England, floods, that's part of that operation. But right, I'm going to ask this question. So ARC888AZ, I believe he was, or she was, going on about this with my show with Janine last night, about the straw man and the big bucks traded in our names. Now, for people that don't understand that, 5 or 6 years ago, when COVID happened, there was a lot of stuff around on the internet, so, you know, about our birth certificates being traded. You know, they're really bonds and they get traded on you. And there was a website where you could go and put in your details and find out. And I found out I can't remember the exact number, but it was, my birth certificate was traded tens of thousands of times, and I was owed about $370 million. That website has since disappeared. Is there anything, Q, related to that information at all that you've found through your work?
I I think there almost certainly is, where it talks about, you know, what really the deep state is in terms of how it's enslaved us all financially, you know, with the private Western sort of central banking system and what have you. I can't think. I mean, we could type straw man in and see if it comes.
Have a look, see if it comes up, because I'm sure there is some stuff about it
out of interest. But certainly, you know, no, nothing's come up with specifically straw man. But there's you know, there's a lot of stuff in the Q drops that are pretty much you know, letting us know what they've done to us. You know, just that drop that talks about endless lies, endless wars, endless inflation, endless printing, endless oppression, blah blah blah. It was all part of it, and I think that started in 1666, didn't it? The Great Fire of London.
I'm just reading this comment. Chris Music. I want to become more spiritual. Has anyone advice? Do I write a book, ask for donations, or start a channel packed with advertisements? Go fuck yourself, Chris. What a dick. Bye-bye. Questions. Can you see these questions here? Because it might be help.
No.
Here we go. Look. Non-sheep 5823. Q equals bullshit. Answer that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no such thing as coincidences, and you know, I've seen every day for the last 6 or 7 years several coincidences. You say it's bullshit, but what do you mean by that? Do you understand them? No. People who say it's bullshit, or people who say it's a psyop, do not understand Q. And they definitely don't understand the continuity of government devolution thing, which is incredibly important, which is all about how they let them steal the diamonds, as in they let them steal the 2020 election, basically to wake us all up. Now, if that person's saying Q is bullshit, are they awake? Do they say they're awake? Do they feel they're awake? And if they are awake, they're probably thinking they know, you know, that there's an Illuminati out there, or there's a bunch of billionaires, you know, who or a bunch of satanic pedophiles or whatever. But if they read the sophisticated information in the Q drops, they will know they will be far more awake. In terms of detail, in terms of the names of the deep state players and how they're connected and why they're connected. And if Q knows, Q is basically using a Socratic method to allow us to know much, much more than we think. And that involves an awful lot of organizations, an awful lot of names, and an awful lot of cunning plans. And if Q is asking these questions, you know damn well that it knows the answers, which means you know that that's what they base the plan on. And we see the plan unfurling on a daily basis. And if you were awake and you read the drops and you studied the drops, all you would do would be that you would be much, much more awake than you are now in terms of incredible detail. And we're seeing, you know, a huge amount of this coming out with Epstein. For example, Rachel Chandler. I mean, you know, I was waiting for her name to come up. Well, I mean, she was mentioned back in 2017, and so was the Epstein, a lot of the Epstein stuff, 2017, 18. Well, really, Epstein wasn't. You know, most people didn't know about that stuff until later. When it comes to people like Hillary Clinton and everything that she's up to her neck in, most people who are awake, who don't understand Q, actually have no idea. Although we're starting to hear about stuff now, but you and I, Mark, have known about this, for years and years, and there's a very real reason for Q. I mean, essentially, it was the military. I would advise that person maybe watches the 13-minute film by Joe M. called Plan to Save the World, because people who are awake but don't understand Q and probably have Trump derangement syndrome, almost certainly, and probably think that Musk just wants to stick a chip in your head. And probably they've seen a picture of Musk in a red goat's outfit or whatever. But people who don't understand Q but are awake, this is designed for those of us to basically try and prevent an American civil war, or people going crazy, or people just losing hope and just becoming so despondent. Because what we're hearing all the time are people who black pill. They don't do anything other than black pill. They don't come up with any solutions at all. And there's always this argument that we're just sitting back waiting to be safe. Well, I'm not sitting back.
Well, no, I've never understood that argument, because
it's
all I took from the Q post was like, you've got more than you know, get on with it.
Exactly.
And and it wasn't sit back and do nothing and enjoy the show. It was like, let us get on with this, and you get on with your bit.
Research, work out.
Not just research, taking action, setting up healing centers, writing books, all the stuff I just got slagged off for. This is all stuff that is positive force in the world. Look, I'm going to go to a really good question here from Robert Wells 108. Does Charles consider the Q post saving Israel for last as the culmination and climax of this disclosure project?
I don't think it's Israel specifically. I think it's I think the deep state are maybe primarily or historically Khazarian mafia, but the Rothschilds aren't from Israel. The CCP aren't from Israel. There is the Q post saving Israel for last, but doesn't really say saving it for specifically.
There is an argument that America is Israel.
Well, which America? You're talking about old America, old CIA, because they've been routed out pretty much. I don't, America. When we say America, historically,
the country, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one as well. Yeah, we'll find out, won't we? I think the head of the snake resides in this country that I'm sitting in, personally.
Go on. Yeah, I mean the UK. I don't even like calling it the UK. I'm just going to slap myself on the wrist for that. It's England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales.
Yeah, and we're up to our necks in it as well. I mean, Trump made this fantastic speech to the WEF, which was great, and it just shows that the white hats are in control. Because if you're in the WEF, would you invite Trump to come and absolutely rip you to pieces? But what he did make very clear was the 2020 election steal. They have all the evidence, and arrests will be coming soon. Well, a major part of the 2020 election steal came from MI6 and Italian satellites and servers in Frankfurt and what have you. So, I mean, he was basically telling them. And then a few days later, he just went in and just ripped Maduro out of Venezuela, which I thought was hilarious. So, yeah. So I think I can't remember what the original question was. I think it was about saving Israel for last, and I've gone off on something else.
Gone off on a Q tangent. Well, I was just wondering whether you think if we got some people who are in the comments to actually come on the show and talk to you live, would you enjoy that?
Yeah, fine. It's fine. Absolutely fine.
If if you're watching this live, put a yes in the comments if you want to come on, and I'll put a link in the comments because I think that might be fun. I quite like doing that in a live.
What now? Like a face-to-face?
No, yeah, get them on the live now.
Okay, cool.
Because then we're making a show for the people by the people. Any
Brilliant.
yeses? Any yeses in the chat? Yes, we've got a yes there from CB24. I love these handles. It's like, whoa, I don't do panels. Wait, you said Mikey B. Anybody want to come on? There's a couple of people want to come on the show. So I'm going to put the link for this show into the comments, and then I'm going to put on a small video, which is basically my introduction to Charles's book. And then when that video is finished, I'll start letting some people in to have a chat to you. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
So I'm posting the link now. You guys click the link. We can't get more than 10 in the room, but we'll do our best. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to put this on. Take me and Charles out. Where we go one. The quintessential question in the time of quarantine. The quarry of the quantum era, the number 17. Every lie it got revealed and shown was every crime. The dark it knew the contract's done, it really was the time. The future proves the past we learned it hard, it was the only way. That little letter marked the path to the final days. Our voices are the greatest thing when we let the truth run through. When we dig deep and speak it loud, we love the letter Q. When heroes rose like General Flynn, his pardon it was made. Let slip the dogs of war at last and send them to their graves. The evil ones did hiss and piss and hid behind fake news. But once the people saw their truth, they had to pay their dues. They lied and testified against the Orange Man, but underestimated the power of his clan. Our voices are the greatest thing when we let the truth run through. When we dig deep and speak it loud, we love the letter Q. When the greatest fraud against mankind was shown to all at last, every soul began to see, rewritten was the past. The trauma felt for generations by those that held the light, released in time to build the strength and fight the final fight. 1,000 years of peace and love, the promise it held firm. For those that resurrected to bring the second term. Our voices are the greatest thing when we let the truth run through. When we dig deep and speak it loud, we love the letter Q. The day is at its darkest, before the light of dawn, but the friends of JFK, to the future they were sworn, that the evil ones who had their way would end in dire straits. Once the swamp it was drained, it really was checkmate. As those that slept their way throughout, finally were woke, with loving hearts we held them tight and relieved them of their yoke. Our voices are the greatest thing when we let the truth run through. When we dig deep and speak it loud, we love the letter Q. To those anons that did the work, you walked the lonely road. Our gratitude it runs forever for showing us the codes. And those that did the posts on 8kun, we're forever in your debt. Your fortitude in times of strife never will forget. Nothing you said can stop what's coming, we saw it in the end. One nation under God, it was time to make amends. Our voices are the greatest thing when we let the truth run through. When we dig deep and speak it loud, we love the letter Q. Our spirits heard the call of freedom, our hearts did burst with pride. When the mask dropped off our faces, the truth did smash the lies. The children that did break our hearts made us all as one. Their suffering was brought to peace, and Satan, he was done. The broken pieces of our lives stopped us from our fall. Forever now, we will say, where we go one, we go all. Our voices are the greatest thing when we let the truth run through. When we dig deep and speak it loud, we love the letter Q. The broken pieces of our lives stopped us from our fall. Forever now, we will say, where we go one, we go all. Booyakasha. So somebody said 107 is not cute. I know he's not cute. I've met 107. I've spent hours in the same room as 107. I've listened to him tell a very long story, and no, he's not cute. He might be JFK Jr. in a suit though.
Q says JFK Jr. is not alive, but then it may not be JFK Jr. Maybe
no. He said JFK's not Junior. Yeah, because he's JFK now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I
missed your poem because the bloody fire alarms went off. I've just been running around everywhere trying to work out, and it's
screw you, Charles Foxtrot.
Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, Mojo Vibin 2305 says, Mark, you should interview Gene Decode. Do you know what? What was interesting about Gene Decode, I'm just going to tell this story, is that I watched him years ago, and I sent him loads of emails saying, hey, Gene, do you want to come on my show? And then he started going on, people kept saying to him, oh, you should talk to Mark Attwood. And then he got me confused. This is why sometimes I question his research abilities, because he got me confused with another Mark Attwood. He wrote a book that was nothing to do with me. And then he wrote back to me saying, I don't think we're on the same page. I was like, we're on exactly the same page. But anyway, I let that one go a long time ago. And also, you got to be wary of people that present intel as if it's all fact.
Also, people can overanalyze it. It's not that difficult. It's not that cryptic. It really isn't. As
my teenage boys would say, it's not that deep, Dad. It's not that deep.
Well, I think it's highly significant. I think it's a tool, that had to be used to, sort of let us, or let a group or a percentage of the population be that sort of calm before and during the storm. But it's not, when you see these pictures where people have got arrows all over the place and they're inverting all kinds of things, personally, I think it's not that complex.
No,
once you've got 4 or 5 sort of links, I think that's too much. Or once you start taking apart half of a date and you reverse 3 of those letters, and that points to a post, and then a lot of people then see that post and really desperately try and make it make sense or make it pertinent or relevant to some event. So I think I don't think I tell you what, this is going to happen anyway, regardless.
No, exactly.
Nothing can stop what is coming, and it's going to happen regardless anyway. So
not
reliant on us.
GG1332, where can we get a copy of the Q poem you just read? Well, that is in my book.
It's in my book.
God Wins, and it's also in Charles's book. Yeah. Yeah. And the Charles's book, the link is bit.ly/Charles Foxtrot, one word, all lowercase. Charles Foxtrot, and this is what first you sent me your first book, Red Pilling in a Clown World. Do you want to hold that up? Because that's a great book. And I did a review of it when I was in Portugal. And
you're in Portugal? Oh,
I was, yeah. And I love that book. It's a really humorous kind of story of the lockdowns from a perspective of an ordinary guy. And I'm not saying you're ordinary, but you know what I mean. And it's full of humor and the difficulties of dealing with family and all of that kind of stuff, which is why he's wearing sunglasses, by the way.
Thank you, because I've got absolutely ripped to shreds for wearing glasses and a hat and stuff. But I had to write under a pseudonym because I had to protect my immediate family's identity, because in that first book I reveal all the ridiculous things that they were saying in terms of their evidence against my evidence about, you know, the pandemic or what have you. So I have to sort of hide my identity a little bit.
Yeah, you're not doing a very good job of it.
No, I know. I don't want to do it. I feel a total fraud.
No, you're not. No. We had that conversation, and you know, we talked through it, and I said, just be yourself. But you know, when you got family on your back, it's not easy.
Well,
I got to tell you, I was lucky. My marriage broke down 3 years before COVID, and I thought I'd lost everything, but it was all part of the plan. You know, I had to be a lone wolf when this thing kicked off so that I could do what I've done. And it's not the same for everybody. But thanks for all the comments about the poem. That's really nice. We had one person join the room, and I was about to bring them in. Now they've just disappeared. It looks like nobody dare come onto the show.
I wouldn't come into this room, to be honest.
Wouldn't you? What are you talking about?
It's too scary.
Kate is awake. Hi Kate. I just deleted somebody else for you, Kate. You've got to get used to this moderator job. My 28-year-old thinks I'm crazy and annoying. Truth or deaf, I say, oh well. That's right. You know, the whole point about talking about Q is that it needs to be talked about. It's this plan is massive. You know, like,
and Q's becoming mainstream as well now. It is. Yeah. It's you know, Hillary Clinton mentioned it in her deposition, where they brought up Pizzagate, which was like hilarious. And those depositions give these people the opportunity to either confess or to deny. Either way, they're screwed. You know, so that's the whole point under oath. So
that video frazzled, right? And as soon as it got mentioned, and then it went to private. I mean, what a brilliant way of just bringing it into the mainstream.
Well, they would not have mentioned that if they didn't have 100% evidence of it.
Precisely. Precisely. And
they've got it all. And it's the other important thing is people are sort of, you know, talking about Pam Bondi and, you know, being funny with releasing whatever the DOJ has, but the DOJ doesn't have it all. It's military. It's Space Force, or it's the NSA, you know, that has it all.
Well, look, we're not getting a massive amount of questions here. Yeah, Kate, I was only joking. You're doing great. Kate's awake. She's brilliant. Yeah, there's a really interesting book that's just coming. I've just ordered it, actually, and it's a guy. Oh God, here I am forgetting names again. But it's a guy that I found on X, and it's about the spheres. You know, the spheres that they've been finding, the silver ones that fly autonomously, and he's orbs. Yeah, he's noticed a pattern with these are silver spheres, and they fly in this sort of formation on a clock, which is really interesting because the astronomer that lives here, which is the UFO capital of Ireland, as in. People are going, no, it's not. This was the home of the UFO Society of Ireland for years, right? When there was a UFO crash here in 1997 in the Curlew Hills near this town of Boyle, it attracted two people. One was called Betty Mailer, who set up the UFO Society of Ireland. And the other one is Dr. Eamon Ansbro, who I've interviewed. And I've made a film about looking UFO hunting just before Christmas. It's on my YouTube channel if you haven't seen it. And Eamon, he's the guy that first realized they were on a timetable, which is why he can predict when they're going to turn up. And that's why I made that little film about going and have a look at them. And that is really interesting part of disclosure, which I'm going to ask you this, because do you think, is there a lot about this? I can't remember if there's a lot about disclosure in the Q drops. Is there?
Well, it is the storm, really, isn't it? It's the culmination of the storm. It is, yeah. I mean, disclosure will be in there in one shape or form. As I said, I don't have a photographic memory of all 4,966. But it's I think I've got a theory that this Steven Spielberg film will actually be the disclosure film.
I think it is.
I think it'll be much about aliens. I think it's going to really basically be the big reveal about the deep state more than aliens potentially. And the reason why I think that is because I can't see them holding the World Cup in the state that it's in, the country's in right now, with Antifa and riots and everything. I mean, I've got a feeling things are going to get tied up pretty quickly. I've got a feeling that there might be a celebration of freedom. And
well, I said the other day that I think because there's this big celebration, 250th anniversary of America, on July the 4th, there's no way that huge things are not going to happen between now and then.
Yeah, I mean, this operation in Iran is going to be over in a few weeks. This operation, it's not a war, it's an operation, and it's not triggering. Although they like to report that it's triggering, all kinds of. Basically, all of the countries around that area, they all signed up to the Abraham's Accords. They're all on the same side. They're all anti-Iran, So I don't think that's going to last that long. I think Cuba's next, but that's pretty much done. And then you got Ukraine, and this is where the sum of all fears scenario might well come in, because the EU lot are desperate to kick off something, and they'll probably trigger a false flag, and that will probably be the big scare event that everybody needs, where we'll have something similar, something like a 20,000 times more impactful Cuban Missile Crisis.
Just want to say hello to William Luke Duckett from Andalusia, Spain.
Nice.
How you doing? You should have said hello to me when I was in Orgiva.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
I've got a
comment to make about the orbs and the spheres and the globes. You made me think. I saw something today or a few days ago, where the Flat Earth Society were proudly announcing that their membership has grown to the point where they've got members all around the globe. Flat Earth Society,
all around the globe. That's like the anarchist meeting.
It's even shorter.
Who's coming to the anarchist meeting? Well, I'm not. It's just brilliant. I just got to say hello to Dolly Daydream. Not spoken to her for 5 years. How you doing, Dolly? Everyone's messages is distilling down to the accurate happenings. God is in control of all of it. Kate is awake, 100%. That's the whole point, I think. Yep. Yeah, totally agree with that. Yep. And all of it's there for you. I mean, look, Charles here got woken up, went through what he went through, wrote a couple of great books, because that's his mission, right? Do you feel like that?
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. I mean, I didn't choose to do any of this, and I don't really want to do any of this, really. But I mean, it's not just writing books. I mean,
how can you not do it though? This is that's why I wanted to publish it, because you put the effort in, and I think the book you've written is a fantastic bridge for people, because so many people have these loose opinions about Q, and they didn't read the post. You and me read the posts as they came out, and it was amazing. It was like, for me, it was like, oh my God, this is the stuff I've been going on about for years, and here it is. And it's all cryptic. What does it mean? It's amazing. It's just been amazing.
But also, the waking up to find that you are actually living in a real dystopia. You are actually living in what you read about, George Orwell or whatever. They are, just because you're paranoid, they're not out to get you. Well, they are out to get you. That reality, and then finding yourself, charging into bloody vaccine centers and trying to close the bloody thing down with legal notices and everything else we were doing. It's bonkers. It's bonkers, and it's taken its toll on most of us as well, which is why, us being the calm before and during the storm is very tiring. You must get people. I get people texting me and phoning me and all sorts, and it was partly the reason why I wrote this book, was to say, well, I can't explain it all in 10 minutes, but I've now taken the trouble to try and condense it all as succinctly as possible. It is 380 pages, but that's the best I can do. But maybe read that, and I've done the sort of legwork for you, and then we can have a conversation. So it sounds patronizing. I don't mean to sound patronizing. Sorry about that, but
no, it's not, and it's a really good read. And what I don't understand, what cracks me up about this whole thing is that, you can say you've written a book on Q, or I've written a poem on Q, and because it's like I said earlier, it's too interesting not to at least look at. But the aggression you get from that's the thing that I what is that about?
It's the same aggression that when we were trying to wake the normies up to say, look, don't get injected, or don't keep taking the bloody test, or don't keep watching the BBC, and you're a tin foil hat wearing, that aggression, because they're full of the cognitive dissonance and Stockholm syndrome and what have you. I thought that was it, and I was in a nice group of awake people, 400 or so on a chat group, and started saying, well, hold on, there's something good happening actually, and blah, blah, blah. And then you get it, and you get the Q-tard, and you're just sitting back waiting to psyop and all of that stuff, with insults, and I've lost friends who were friends that I would be going into the vaccine centres and what have you, fighting against it all, who are no longer friends. They just completely dumped me, and they have their own level of, in my opinion, cognitive dissonance, which is why I say watch Plan to Save the World, because
it's brilliant.
With this cognitive dissonance, people think, well, there couldn't possibly be a white hat operation. There couldn't possibly be a large group of military people who've chosen to do this. It just won't happen. Or Trump couldn't possibly be a good guy because he's one of them. He's a billionaire, and their argument's always, well, if there's a billionaire, he has to be deep state, So
well, I mean, look, there's a couple of things here. Jenny Long 6180, right? I'm going to read this. Fuck them. They could have done the work like the rest of us. It's time to walk away. You can't wake up zombies now.
I'm not waking anywhere. I don't want to wake.
No. This is what I just think. This is a very important point, because I still want to save everybody. I still, despite everything, despite all the abuse I get, I still want to save even them, or want to help them. Well, I built a healing center. I do this. I've got books coming out. I mean, I've done a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And and it's like even because honestly, we have to forgive everybody. Right? That doesn't mean no justice. It's just that if we're going to evolve as a species, we've got to understand what's really been going on. And Q, for me, is a big part of that. Whether people use terminology like, do you follow Q? I don't follow Q.
No, it's been and done.
Q's a thing that happened that we need to reference now and get a deeper understanding of it as time goes by. That's why we're doing this show tonight, because I want people to go back to the source material, which is the Q post. Get your book if they want. It's free. If you haven't got any money, don't worry about it. It's not about money, but it's and then discuss it more. But you get this kind of like, you're a fucking Q-tard, and you're a fucking.
It's the labeling thing though that the Marxists are very good at, isn't it? If you say fact checked or debunked or racist or whatever, you just put that label on anybody and it sticks, and Q's a psyop. It's just this label, and if you really wanted to have that conversation with somebody, so how does this psyop work, then they'll realize that it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No, I know. It's great. I love this one. Super Elena 78 said, I'm a Q-tard. Good. Wear it. Stand up proud. I love the letter Q. That's why I wrote that poem. And it because the number 17 has been following me around for 10 years. My son was born on the 7th 17th of the 7th.
Well, that has been following me around since I was like.
Well, I had that 15 years ago. I was getting that 11,
Yeah.
11, 11, 11, and that's when I really started going, "What the fuck is going on? I'm seeing 11, 11 everywhere."
Yeah.
And then all these numbers, and the numbers are so interesting, and they're real, and it's the universe talking to you. And once you get to that point, you know, you got. That's why we're still talking about this stuff, because there's still, you know, there's still people who are just waking up. There might be people watching this who are just waking up and don't know anything about this stuff. That's why it's important that we put it into book form. We make the videos, we make the poems, the songs, the music, whatever. You know, we've all got to keep doing it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think really I wrote my book on Q just to try and help people understand it. But then I've realized that an awful lot of people don't want to understand it. It's the same as the people who are willfully ignorant, who don't want to hear about the PCR test or whatever. There's always going to be those people who don't want to know, because they don't want to be proven wrong, or they don't want, you know, their version of reality to be shattered. But I think we're going to be woken up, you know, in a big way. I think people are going to hit this precipice in a big way. Imagine the entire mainstream media just suddenly flipped, and the BBC suddenly said, "Oh, news today. During COVID, actually, that was one big lie, and Bill Gates has been arrested." And you know, imagine everybody suddenly watches the news and it tells them everything. That'd be one massive wake up.
Yeah, and then anyway, there's a really good point. Thank you, the Book of Love 369. Kirill Dmitriev, or whatever his name is, well, Mark knows who I mean, has posted a picture of Black Swan. So I'm just going to share this, because this is part of the whole story. Just give a bit of background on who Kirill Dmitriev is while I just dig it up there, would you, Charles?
But he's blocked me.
Yeah, I know he's blocked you.
Strange reason.
He doesn't like you.
I feel a bit unnerved, though.
Well, I would be.
I think I'm going to be prodded by a bloody poison umbrella.
Look, Kirill Dmitriev follows me, blocked you. What does that tell you?
Yeah, I don't know. When you get to meet him, tell him I'm no harm.
Well, look, okay, look, let's not take it personally. It might be an account run by also, you know, the FSB or the whatever they're called now, which I think it probably is. But if we go down here, look, just 11 hours ago, Black Swan, right? Black Swan event, big thing in the Q world, which is like massive financial collapse and the new financial system, right?
Yeah.
Well, there he is. That's Putin's right-hand economic advisor. By the way, the people who said in the chat, is Putin a white hat? 100%, but that's not the original Putin. You've got to understand this. This goes way deeper, right? And this is where people get confused.
I would agree with you there. I mean, whoever Xi is, whoever Putin is, the current Xi and Putin and Trump have an alliance. And you'll see this because the stuff that's going on in Iran at the moment, China and Russia aren't coming in to help at all.
China.
And for optics, they're saying what they need to say. But, there's absolutely, he's a good guy. Absolutely, he's a white hat.
Oh, man, you know, when he passed the football to Trump.
Well, that's why I think the World Cup is going to be far too significant.
Oh, not only that, but look at the trophy. Oh, no, that was a different cup. That wasn't the World Cup, was it? That was but anyway, it was a football trophy that Trump had in the White House. And it looked exactly like the time machine. It looked exactly like Project Looking Glass. It looked exactly like the machine that Jodie Foster built in the film Contact, which was based on the work of Carl Sagan, which was interdimensional travel machine. It is exactly the same thing.
And I haven't gone into a lot of stuff. I haven't gone down a lot of rabbit holes because I just accept that nothing will surprise me when we come out the other end. But I did do the old what's his first name? Lightfoot, Baron Trump, Adventures of Baron Trump.
Baron von Trump. Yeah, I've got that book here somewhere.
Sorry, what's his first name? Lightfoot.
No, it was Ingersoll Lockwood.
Ingersoll Lockwood, yes, Lockwood. Yeah. The coincidences are just off the scale. You know, they're not coincidences, and it's they were very real books in the late 1800s, weren't they? So that's just blown my mind, really. That whole.
Well, no, I mean, I made a video on X 3 years ago saying, is Donald Trump a time traveler? I've talked about it before.
Yeah,
so I don't want to bore people, but 100% Trump is a time traveler, and the time travel involved in this. Just look at the Mandela effect. I mean, how do you explain the Mandela effect? It's even my kids, we talk about it all the time. They're bringing them to me. It's great fun. They're like, Dad, do you remember? Yeah. Well, look, it's this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, at the end of the day, all of this is going to be, you know, very biblical. And I love the way Trump says you're going to love how this ends. You know,
you're going to love how this movie ends. And yeah, actually, Sandra Rambleton 4753. It's like Trump is Connor McLeod. You cannot die, McLeod. You're immortal. Collecting the artifacts from his lifetimes. Well, isn't that interesting that there's a new version of Highlander being made right now with Henry Cavill and the guy out of and Russell Crowe.
Right. Yeah.
Which is, you know, the movies tell us everything.
They do. And you'll find that apart from a few people like Russell Crowe, a lot of these newer Hollywood productions that are specifically, you know, waking people up or indicating, you know, the stuff that we know and we talk about, you'll find a lot of the actors are virtually unknown actors. They're brilliant actors, but they're not the old deep state actors. Not the
Lorraine Murray's just said, my dad stole the original World Cup. Lol. That
really? No, a dog did.
Lorraine, because I've heard that story before, but I'm just
Crystal Palace. It was found in Crystal Palace.
Yeah, well,
the dog found it, didn't it?
Well, I just remember the story of Jack Charlton waking up 3 days later in a cabbage patch face down because they'd been on such a massive piss up after winning in 1966. Those were the days.
Those were the days.
Those were the days.
Of course, now in football, and this is something I'm, you know, obviously, you know, the UK deep state like to maintain this sort of illusion of mass racism everywhere. And I don't know if you noticed that the first game of the Premiership this year they had a racist comment apparently. And I think they had one recently in another high-profile game. And, you know, I just think they're staging these things.
Yeah, it's all staged.
It's all staged, and everything's staged. Whereas everything's a movie.
Well, Dolly Daydreams just said that some people in Trump's family, I think, are McLeods, but it's spelt slightly differently, which wouldn't surprise me. Scottish. And also Christ is in their family name as well, right?
I don't know.
His granddad's name was Christ, I think.
Okay.
Or his middle name.
Well, then you've got Melania as well, who's, you know, of, isn't she one of the Romanovs? Or... The
Romanovs, yeah. The family that were murdered by the Rothschild. Yeah, somebody just said that Trump went bankrupt six times. He's the Rothschild's bitch. What do you think to that? What do you think to that kind of comment?
Well, they're just parroting stuff that they've heard from other people and not thought it through.
Well, no, it's possible that that's true, right? Not that he's their bitch, but that he did borrow money and he went bankrupt and this, that, and the other. But that just, for me, is
an irrelevant comment.
No, it's not really irrelevant because that may be true, that that's part of his journey to become who he is, because that's how he got accepted into the inner circles to the point where they allowed him to stand against Hillary Clinton because he had to infiltrate them.
Well, they used, to allow the GOP allowing him to stand. I mean, that was fascinating as well, because he was contacting 4chan just before that moment when he posted on Twitter a cartoon version of him standing there as president, as Pepe the Frog. And then, yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but and then he was chosen by the GOP, and he stood there adopting the same pose before he started to include some known 4chan users in Twitter. This was two years before or leading up. You know, he started making himself known on 4chan 2 years before Q started, which is fascinating. And so, yeah, I mean, how he finally won the 2016 election. They were basically using deep state techniques against them. There was, you know, Steve Bannon with all this Cambridge Analytica stuff.
Yeah, well, you know, and Q talks about good guys being bad guys being good guys, and this is what's so funny when you mention anybody's name, like Melania, for example. We just had one person said you're delusional. Melania is Slavic. Another person says Melania is Pleiadian.
Okay,
and it's like, God Almighty.
Well, it doesn't really matter. You know, I don't think anything really matters whether your opinion is right or wrong. Ultimately, you know, we are in very, very strange times, and we all know deep down things aren't normal. You know, if you look at any Q post now, a lot of it will make sense in hindsight because we've been given a lot of information through X and not through the BBC. But people are waking up. This is this is the Great Awakening. You know that map, the Great Awakening map.
Yeah, that was made by Dylan Munro, I think. Yeah, it's brilliant. I saw that first. I saw that map first on. Yeah. There was a great podcast I used to watch. Oh, what's it called? Two guys. Oh, it's gone. But yeah, brilliant. And I know people who know Dylan. I'm supposed to have had him on my show, but it's just not happened. It's a work of genius.
And then it is totally it is. And then at the top, it's got the great solar flare or what have you. But I only live in that little bottom left-hand corner.
I saw you put that somewhere. Was that on X this week?
Yeah. I was talking to someone about it, and you know, if you look at that map, it's phenomenal.
No, it is. It's extraordinary. You know, everybody should go and get it.
Yeah. I think I was talking to someone who produced a load of T-shirts with it on, and I thought, ooh, if the originator of that map's litigious, you're going to be in trouble. I can't remember who it was.
No,
I don't think it was you.
I'm just reading. We've got a troll in here, and he's going, "How much worthless money has Q?" Well, that doesn't even make sense. And the other one was, "Trump is a bankrupt casino owner. Tells you everything." It's just like Trump derangement. Let's talk about Trump derangement syndrome. Because I think it's on purpose, isn't it? I think it's like he just rubs demons up the wrong way.
Well, he uses anything and everything to his advantage, whether it's a positive or a negative. Well, Trump derangement syndrome is very real, but it just, as I say, it just goes back to the labeling. I was talking to somebody, and I was saying, I remember this poor guy at school, and I never liked him. And loads of other people never liked him, and he used to come and talk to me, and I used to sort of like shun him away and just, you know, ignore him. And it was because, and I was probably about 12, and I just heard a rumor, and it's the most ridiculous rumor. It's like, this is the rumor: he soaped himself up and tried it on with his mother.
What?
Right. This is what I was told.
Oh my God.
Like A, if he did, how would anyone know? And B, he bloody didn't, and it's all a load of bollocks. But that label, or it's like, you know, you think people smell because somebody says, oh, they smell. You know, I'm going back to school, you know, where people are given a label, and it really sticks, and it overrides everything. So TDS overrides just about any logic or anything that you're it's the same as debunked. You know, you read something's debunked, you're not going to look into it and make up your own mind. It's debunked, isn't it? It's fact checked.
It's hilarious. Let's have a
And
look.
that's what TDS is.
I just think it's nice to have a look at some of the reviews on Amazon of your book. Pretty good. 4.6. That's pretty good. Why Nothing Could Stop. Wow. Clear, witty. Witty? Is that the book you wrote? Packed with
Witty, yeah.
I know there is. That connects all the cue drops perfectly. It's the ultimate red pill read. 5 out of 5 stars. Must read for patriots and truth seekers. My compliments to Charles Foxtrot for making such a huge contribution to our new history that is currently in the making. It's wonderful when you read stuff from people that get it.
Yeah.
Because we've
Really.
had so much negativity to put up with over the years, and that actually is personally not that easy, right?
No, I think I told you when we spoke ages ago that I had a brilliant review of this book, and my favorite one, I've got like 60 or 70, all 5-star, really good ones. I've got a few trollers, but the one that this Mary Klein from America wrote, this book became my best friend for a long while. I would read it and reread it for comfort, humor, and to not feel so alone. And that means more to me than any other review. It's just so nice to know that, you know, whatever thoughts you've written down, like maybe help people. And I've very recently, about a week ago, she found me on X, and we've been communicating.
Well, that is brilliant. I mean, you know, when I started this podcast in 2020, I stopped doing it for a couple of weeks over Christmas, going, and I remember sitting on the sofa in the other room, sitting there going, why am I doing this? Because it was like a bunch of people, including me, got really well known really quickly. And then there was a lot of selling going on, and then it was like competitive about Intel, which I never bought into. All of that Intel stuff was just people reading other people's work and pretending it was theirs. And I was like, this is not, why am I doing this? This is great. But I kept getting told to keep going. And it wasn't until I went to America and did the tour. When I met people.
I saw that. I saw you broke down a little bit because somebody came up to you and said something similar, didn't they? How you changed their lives or whatever. And it's like, you know, we're not trying to be anything other than, you know, we just can't help it that we happen to have stumbled across some information or whatever, and for whatever reason you think you need to write it down, and then someone asks you if they can publish it. It's not like we're trying to make money, you know, and then it affects people in such a positive way. So that's the reward, because it's bloody hard work knowing stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Stephen O'Neill 633. Now, the reason I'm going to read this comment is because somebody sent me, they keep sending me these pictures of some fat bloke, and it says, this is Donald Trump in 1989. And he said, Trump died in a helicopter crash in 89. What we see is Trump 2. And that's bullshit. Because, you know, you can go and watch videos of Trump in the 70s and the 80s. You know, what I just don't get why people keep pushing this nonsense.
He has doubles. I
know he has doubles, but there's no. I'm gonna find this picture, because this one got sent to me again. I've been sent this picture so many times. Where is it? Yeah, I've got to pull it up. I mean, this is hilarious, actually. It's like, what? Let me just see if I can get the picture on screen. Doop-a-doop-a-doo.
So you're going to show us a picture of Trump before he died in a helicopter crash?
This is allegedly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry?
Yeah, but look, it's like a newspaper cutting.
That's Cyril Smith, isn't it?
Donald and Ivanka Trump, something. There you go. Look at that. Like that guy could ever make.
And when somebody believes that's him, I mean, that's a guy of a...
That guy would be kicked out of a working men's club, let alone make billions of dollars.
Exactly. He looks like he comes from Stoke-on-Trent or something.
Don't
slag on. He'd be about 65 or so back then. Anyway, I don't know why people believe very small things and hang everything on that very small thing.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because Satan and his minions are a bunch of fuckwits with no sense of humor and very little creativity. They're just nasty, right? And when they come up with shit like this, it's laughable. It's so laughable that I don't know why anybody takes it seriously.
Yeah.
Is our history going to be written truthfully, says Tough Cookie 1738? Well, yeah, I think it is.
Well, it certainly hasn't been written truthfully up until now, but I think you'll find that these Q posts are all pretty true. And I tell you what, this is definitely something that will happen in schools in a post deep state world. Q will be taught.
I totally agree. Totally agree. I've just had a great. I see now that I've just had. It looks like a good review, but it might be a piss take because I know his sense of humor. Alexander Quinn's just said Mark is the only channel to watch. You know that's not true, Alexander. You watch Alexander Quinn. He's brilliant.
Okay, I don't watch a lot of people.
You should watch him.
Yeah, but I don't.
He's tapped in to the energetics and the Arcturians, and
okay, I hear all that. I hear all that from my wife.
But he has a phenomenal sense of humor as well, which he doesn't.
Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah, which peaks out everything.
That's
good to see, Alexander. Do you want to come on the show? That'd be fun. Let's get Alex on.
Well, I've been talking to some people about doing a sort of British Q show, which I was
doing it now, you idiot.
Well, that's why I'm saying it.
We start small like this.
We call it join the queue.
Hey, he wants to come on. Alex wants to come on. I'm gonna get him. Hang on, my daughters are ringing me. I gave them a few quid to go to the pub, so that's always they probably want to know where they want me to go to the pub. No, I'm not going. Can't go. Doing a show. Alex wants to come on the show, so I'm just gonna get the link.
Cool.
Because you want to meet this guy. He's fucking
lovely.
Do. Right, Alexander Quinn. Keep talking, Charlie. Feel the dead air.
Well, yeah, what to talk about? We didn't see the full moon, did we? The red moon, but the sun has been crazy in the last couple of days.
Yeah, the sun. It's been beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
It's sent. Alex is coming on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, me and Alex started our YouTube channels around the same time, 5-6 years ago, I believe. And he's written an amazing book, and he helps a lot of people, right? In a different way to the way that you are and the way that I am, but it's just brilliant. And I love mixing these, like, it's just like
we should have more kind of groupy, round table-y kind of
chat. It's been a while since I've done them, actually, and this one's just coming out totally organically
because we don't even speak outside of these things.
Well, I think you and me have had maybe 2 phone calls in 4 or 5 months, but that's all I've got time to do.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's what I'm saying is there's a hell of a lot to talk about, isn't there? I mean, I thought I would sort of make some notes, and I've got 10,000 things that I could talk about. But it'll all come out in the wash, won't it? It'll all come out at the right time. But group chats with people talking about different things or different interests is always. I'm always keen to hear other points of view about like I say, that map, that Great Awakening map. I only know that little bottom corner.
Well, I'm going to try and pull. Have you got that map in front of you? Let's show people it.
I don't. Short of picking my computer up and walking downstairs into the lounge and showing a poster of it. Oh, I might be able to, actually. Wait a minute.
I think I might be able to get it here.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I've got it here.
Oh, you got it? Well done.
Yeah. 1 second. I sent you the link, Alexander Quinn. I've got so many tabs open, I can't find it. Oh, there it is, Facebook. I found it on Facebook. So that's the Great Awakening map there. which is obviously nobody's going to be able to read this on the screen, but that's how
they'll recognize it. A lot of them will recognize it, and I'd certainly recommend you go. You know, people might have it somewhere. Go back and have a good look. It's just
go and buy it off. Go and buy it off Dylan. Oh, Alex is here. Let's get him in. Hello, sir.
Hello. How you doing?
How you doing?
There's the moon.
I'm okay. I was. Do you know what? I want to say something for all of your people that watch you, Mark. Foxtrot. I've never seen you before, but love me. But I want to say I want to credit Mark for a moment. Mark is the only channel I watch.
Really?
Yeah. I only I'm a spiritual person.
Yes, you are.
And I only watch your channel, and there's not many other YouTube channels that say this guy is great or this person's great or you should watch them. And you know what? People should watch Mark Attwood, because Mark Attwood is fantastic. And it's like when people say to me, you know, where can you go to see Alexander Quinn? And I always say the same thing. Don't come to me. Don't buy my book. Don't waste your time buying, don't go to my YouTube channel, because source is inside you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you have the perfect morning campers cup of coffee, stood outside somewhere cold with your yellow hat on, probably feeling a bit shit and probably just working out, you know, what you think about the day. Yeah. And everyone needs that. I love that.
Well, look, guys, come on, you make me blush here. I can't cope with compliments.
All right, give me some.
So I am going to make a comment about Hillary Clinton, okay?
Go on.
The Clinton Foundation has got innumerous amounts of blood on its hands.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that. What it did with Haiti and a whole lot of other things. There's a lot of blood there.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I often get messages from the Arcturians and the Intergalactic Council of Light about things that are going on, and I don't post it, and I can't post it. But I'm just telling you now, Mark, that you're very on point with everything you're saying, and I know you are, because I'm getting messages from the other side about everything that you're talking about, and that's why you're the only channel that I watch. And you're a real guy, you're authentic, and I just came out of a sound bath. Do you know what a sound bath is?
I do.
So I just came out of a sound bath. I just came back to my home, and I was on YouTube, and I saw your thing, and thank you for inviting me. But many things that you're saying are on point, but they are happening in the non-physical and the physical world. And you're just one of the very few credible people that I think are real. And so I will always support you and be behind you 100%.
Well, it's back at you, you know. Our show is great. While you're here, because you two have never met and don't know anything about each other, I've got a request, Alexander.
Would you like me to sing Hotel California?
You know, no, because that's about child trafficking. You know that.
You want me to get my guitar?
Oh yeah, can you play guitar? No, this guy does just the best Trump impression. It's brilliant. Have you got any up the sleeve there?
Sure. Okay, why not? Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Just this morning, you know, guys, I woke up this morning and I resolved 2,000 wars. 2,000 wars. And they said in the Bible that the last war it would biblically be in the Middle East. Well, I solved that 10,000 year war. and I stopped the Ayatollah. That's the greatest thing I ever did. I start wars and I finish wars. And I am a god. How was that?
Really good. Really good. But nobody else thought they'd ever see.
I'm the greatest, your favorite president. Just too much fun, really. I mean, the laughter.
I love him too much to take the piss.
Has been essential. I know you got to take the piss.
Shall I tell you why laughter is essential? It's because I run a private practice, and I see something like 450 clients a year. Some of them are very famous people. Some of them are clinicians themselves. Some of them are practitioners themselves. Very famous mediums, psychics. And after 4,500 clients later on, do you know what I've learned? Is that laughter is actually real medicine.
Yeah.
It's not about trying to be spiritual. It's not about being spiritual. It's about being yourself.
Yeah.
Well,
and Mark, that's what you do in spades. And that's why I will promote you to the moon and back.
Well, thank you. I can't do anything else.
It's important. No, it's incredibly important. And I'm a chiropractor. I'm a sort of,
You're a healer.
Exactly, but I sort of work on the nervous system, and laughter is very much something that allows the parasympathetic nervous system to operate. But our lives are completely dominated by stresses that create the overriding sympathetic nervous system that prevent the parasympathetics from working, as in everything that regulates your body's systems and what have you. So when a good belly laugh opens up that parasympathetic nervous system like nobody else.
100%. I mean, we have the funniest president. I mean, look, this is where it gets complicated for people. Alexander, be interested to know what you think about this, because a lot of the MAGA base is going, oh my God, Israel, Iran. What are you getting about all of that?
Okay. Shall I explain it at the cosmic level, at the galactic level? Because I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
So we had the Orion Wars at the galactic level. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So at the galactic level, we had the Orion Wars. And what happened after the Orion Wars? So I'm going to take my glasses off because it's reflecting. After the Orion Wars at the galactic level, what happened was lots of constitutions of very, very suppressed people, because that was a very great level of suppression that happened at the cosmic level. By the way, within our neighborhood, yeah. So all those Mintoken star seeds, yeah. All those Bellatrix star seeds, I'm Mintoken. Mintoken is great. Well, yeah, nothing with Mintoken star seeds, but that was a very suppressed cultural society who were aquatic. Anyway, whole another 3-hour conversation. And so all of the Orion Wars that were about ultra suppression, when they came here, a lot of that suppression, when they were trying to escape the Orion Wars and the Orion suppressed star system, they came to Earth. Well, they didn't come to Earth, they came to our solar system. And then they came to a planet that is now part of our exploded, the asteroid belt, yeah, Marduk. And then after that, they went to Mars. And all of that suppression continued on to Mars, and up until they destroyed their own ozone layer. And then all of that suppression from the Orion star system, still from the Orion star system, continued and propagated back through and onto the Middle East. The Middle East, one of the most suppressed star systems, through star lineage, one of the most suppressed places on the planet in terms of, well, look at the Muslim suppression that happened in 1979, and thereon, women couldn't be women. Men were the ultimate force. Yeah, that's not a balance of power. That's a suppression of ultimate force. Yeah. And so women suddenly became nothing overnight. And so that, from the galactic perspective, all of that suppression from the Orion star system that propagated through Marduk and then through Mars, and then that had to come back down through Earth, is now all playing out in the Middle East. And it's been playing out because it has to play out.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you have a problem in your creative and your sexual identity, then it's going to play out in the hips, the reproductive system, the breasts, and the lymphatic system. And if it's in your mother wounding, the left hand side of your body. If it's in your father wounding, the right hand side of your body, the left breast, the right breast, and so on and so forth, up until it gets to a point where there is a creational issue that then it starts to encounter, where that soul doesn't want to be part of the program anymore and it wants to exit. And I'm not going to talk anymore about that for the time being, and so what you're watching at the creational galactic level, what's now happening is you're watching those final throws at the galactic level, where all of those things with the Orion Wars and Marduk and Mars and so everything that then procreated down onto Earth in the Middle East, linked to the Anunnaki and linked to karma, is now playing out so that it can be released. And guess what just happened? We just walked through a 14-day window where we just come out with a lunar eclipse last night, and I've talked about this on and on and on and on and on in all my posts, all my videos, where clarity, where compression comes before clarity, and where distortion cannot be in resistance to resolution anymore. And look at what's happening and going in UK news. And look at what's happening with UK politics. And look at what's happening with everything going on in the Middle East. The Middle East being where the Garden of Eden, the Den of Eve, where the Anunnaki rested. And where all of those counterparts were also drawn with all the unresolved galactic karmic stuff that happened, that ended up landing in the Middle East, or the Middle East. And so it's all playing out there. Israel, the last war in the Bible, Iran, so on and so forth. That's why it's all happening there. It's not biblical, it's galactic. And we're seeing that. And guess what? At the end of a 14-day window, that we've just come through with the eclipse energy. And guess what? Endings, change, beginnings. I mean, it's like clockwork, the way it's playing out.
Well, that's interesting you say the word clockwork, because that's what I was talking about earlier with the spheres and the patrolling of this realm, planet, whatever you want to call it, with this ancient technology is all like a clock. Literally.
It is. It absolutely is. But do you know, making predictions is super easy, because all you have to do is look at the planetary field, look at the galactic history, look at the consciousness potentials that are going on with Earth at this moment in time, and then look at the potentials within the collective. And if you put those four stratospheres together, you'll get a potential that gives you an understanding of what highly might likely occur. And at this moment in time, it's occurring right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously those of us who've been following Q have anticipated this for
let's talk to Alexander about Q. I don't think we've ever talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think by the sounds of it, you're galactic and I'm very human.
Grounded.
I'm just, my focus is on a human operation to systematically dismantle the deep state through military intelligence and data gathering and deception. A lot of deception, like Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Now, I'm really only talking about, a plan that, as I said, is systematic. And part of that systematic plan is to collapse places like Iran and places like Venezuela or Ukraine that are deep state layers. But I'm very much talking on a level that's grounded, I suppose. Now, all of the stuff that you're talking about, Alexander, is blows my mind. I mean, it's fascinating, and
Well, you need to start watching his channel.
Well, everything's connected, but I only have bandwidth for a certain...
you'll get there. The whole point is all frequency matching. So there's people watching this now that will match the frequency, but there are 3 different frequencies on the screen right now that are coming from different directions, but really saying the same thing or experiencing things in a different way, but coming to the same conclusions because it all has to play out.
My wife, Mark, is very much, she would understand everything Alexander just said, and we have loads of conversations, and I'm quite happy for her to know what she knows, and I'm quite happy for me to find out that what she knows was true.
Can we do an experiment?
Go for it.
Have you ever heard light language?
Nope.
Alex, you know what I'm going to say next.
Oh my God!
No, before you, if you want to,
I've actually had 6 hours of client sessions today, but yeah, sure, why not?
No, you don't have to do it. I'm putting you on the spot. But the thing is, I knew that he'd not experienced light language. And Charles, what's interesting about this is that you might hear this through the ears and go, "What was that?" But then I'd be interested to see if something else happens to you, if you feel any of it.
Go for it.
He can only feel it because you can't think energy, you feel energy. And I'll tell you why. Your body incarnates into consciousness. So your body is in consciousness, yeah? The only part of consciousness that is in your body is your mind. Yep. And so if the only part of consciousness that is in your body is your mind, that's a low consciousness. And therefore, light language cannot be perceived by the mind because it is not part of what the body has incarnated into, which is multi-dimensional.
Can I interject whilst we're having this conversation? Is that all right? It's like when people say they have a gut feeling or what have you. I say, well, it's not. It is your conscious mind. So, the mind obviously is dominant.
Correction.
Feelings or what have you. But
you're close, but you're very close, but correction. The heart is your feeling. The third eye is your seeing, not your knowing. And gut is part of your instinctual feeling through your body. So what your intuition cannot pick up through your heart field, your gut picks up through the physical level, physically. So your heart is the symbiosis between non-physicality and physicality, and your gut goes back into physicality at the instinctual level that can still be procreated as non-physical. And so that's why CEOs who are psychopaths and sociopaths can still pick up that soul level, higher level instinctual intuition, but they have to do it to the gut level, which is physical. It's different, and that's what you're talking about. Either way, you're spot on, but the way I articulate is just slightly different.
Okay.
So let's do an Arcturian prayer and do it for real right now.
Brilliant.
Atakawati Katishi Shawariata and Doda Yada Yada Babakati Sakatar Shua Shashindo Ndoaria Aka Indo Shua Indo Variare Akata Indo Shua Akata Itish Shua Takabreshindo Shua Diandarava Takadin Gosha Shatindo Shakabadia Akata Dioria Shakaderindo Shatarev Davaya Kaduduravia Shatatakati Unkosha Akata Nidusha Variara by Dianta Data Takawata Di Da Dam Don Doaria Kata Ingosha Diantandara. Breathe. The planetary fields of your brothers and your sisters from the archetypes that you understand linked to the Taurian system in the Pleiades and the Andromedans who are working in archetypal English words, shall we say, working together to formulate a spiritual police state that can help your planet exist without interference, and a governmental state that can help your planetary galactic ascendance happen without interference at levels of boundary that are protecting you so that your four bodies can exist in a state without too much interference, without too much pain, continue in an accelerated state that is beyond anything that even yourselves or us have foreseen. And that is why at the mental compression level and the physical body level, it is uncomfortable beyond familiarity, but you will be okay and you will survive, and you are ahead of schedule, and it will plateau out at around 2013. God bless.
2013.
Sorry, 2030.
30.
You made me think I'd missed it.
Yeah, we're 13 years too late. We're in a dream state.
Damn.
Oh, that was brilliant. Did you feel anything, Charles?
Well, I have to say no, but
Right.
I'm very
Well,
grateful.
let's look at your T-shirt. It says 1111.
I'm
Yeah.
going to fetch something while you're saying that.
You're wearing a T-shirt with 1111 codes. 1111 codes all about new beginnings and ascension codes.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've seen 1111 since I was 5 or 6 years old, and although I was never spiritual, I always knew it was highly significant. I always knew it would be something I would eventually find out a lot more about. It does actually crop up in Q quite a lot. But for me, I always felt it's, biblical. And I used to just see it all the time. I used to say to people, I just keep seeing 1111, even when I was a child.
Which is spiritual.
So what is it that you are not starting that you should have started at the spiritual level that you're holding back because you're too scared, either because it won't make money or you have a fear of rejection linked to your mother or father wounding?
Oh, well, this is brilliant.
I was just a teenager who smoked pot and played drums in a band and didn't give a toss about any of that, basically, after a while.
Drums and weed, I have no problem with that. Would you like me to come into your energy and find out exactly what's going on? Or
not right now.
No, Charles. This is what it's all about.
Can I go for a wee first? But don't use me as some kind of experiment.
I will come into your energy and find out for myself. But either way, you can divulge it for yourself, or
my energy is very much depleted because of the last 6 or 7 years. But
I've got something to show you guys. Well, show Alexander anyway.
Am I allowed to drink alcohol whilst I'm doing this? What is that?
I'm gonna say something to the audience who's watching. Everything in moderation. Everything in moderation, yeah?
Absolutely. It's a Quaker way of being.
Yeah.
How many people do I know that are incredible channels who drink a glass of wine every day, who even smoke weed, who are incredible channels, who are friends of mine who have channels worth 1 million people, 250,000 people, and they channel, and they're very famous people. All of these people are my friends, but they're too scared behind the scenes to say, "Oh, I enjoy a glass of wine, I smoke a bit of weed, blah blah blah," and all of them do. I'm telling you, because all of them are my friends.
Everything,
and they're so God scared of what the New Age spiritual community are going to say because they're terrified of judgment, and that's because they have fear of rejection and abandonment issues linked to their mother wound and going back to their childhood.
Well, I think I've been put off by the amount of spiritual people
New age
have
people.
come into my life one way or other who are not spiritual whatsoever, and they're very, selfish, self-obsessed, narcissistic people who really aren't spiritual. And I think I've been put off by that word. And I'll tell you something else is when I lived in Portugal, I went through a phase where I was scared of finding two things. One was finding God, and the other was finding golf, because I didn't want to suddenly change and become boring and just someone who just spoke about either God or golf. And it was just a weird part of my life where I found God recently, just purely because of the amount of evil that I've seen, very real evil that I've seen and experienced. And my thing is, if there's an opposite to absolutely everything, so if there's evil, if there's a devil, there's a God. But yeah, I've always kind of shied away from engaging into something that will massively change me. Having said that, I mean, the last 5 years, 6 years since COVID and all of my experiences and all of the stuff that I've been involved with, Q and everything, has completely changed my life. And I'm knackered because of it. And I just want to go and sit in a nice garden in Spain and just chill out. But we're going through a great awakening. That I was talking to Mark about that map, the Great Awakening. You know it? You know the one? Yeah. And I just reside in the bottom left-hand corner, which is sort of, Q and various other things. And but it's massive, that map. There's so much there. There's so much, like I said, my wife is very much into the whole, very, very much understands. I'm not putting it down just because I haven't gone there. It's Palladians and intergalactic stuff. And I know that I would be pleasantly, I'd be very happy to find all of this out when I'm ready. But I do have a very small space.
It would be a waste of your time.
Yeah. I didn't get what you just said, but you just said it's not worth doing something because it'll be wasting my time.
It will be a waste of your time finding out your galactic heritage because it will make no difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there will be a time, I should imagine, when it will be the right time.
I get clients coming to me all the time saying,
I'm not seeking anything personally.
By the way, what you said was correct. And I'll tell you why what you said was correct. It's because spiritual identity is egoic identity. It is still the self. It is still the I. It is still formulated in this is who I am. It is still formulated identity. It's just another form of safety, but within the spiritual community. The ego has to be deconstructed. And therefore, egoic spirituality is a form of ego all over again, but just within another field, within another stratosphere. And that is absolutely correct.
I mean, you have to have an ego, otherwise you'll just collapse.
Ego is personality, but it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be controlling or domineering. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be yeah.
I think humbleness is a great trait that you should sort of aspire to, and also I do believe in God in as much as
then you believe in yourself.
Sorry.
Then you believe in yourself.
For now I do, yeah. But I'm not seeking anything. That's the point. Well, at the moment,
it's coming to you anyway. Right now, this is what that when I
lots has come to me.
Yeah, but this is beautiful because I went off screen just to let you two focus. And what you just came out with was beautiful.
Who?
You. There was lots of people in the comments are relating to it as well. And that's
they're still here, are they?
yeah, well, that's what this is really about, Charles. You know, it is. Yeah. You know, you're in a different space to Alexander here, but what an amazing mixture to.
The truth is that Foxtrot has not said anything other than what is energetically happening. I'm just articulating it at the non-physical level. Nothing he has said is actually wrong. I'm just articulating it at the non-physical level.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to know what to say, really. I mean,
then don't say anything.
Yeah. I think that's
do you know what to say? Do you know what to say when your mind doesn't know where to go? Is how your heart feels, because that will always carry weight. That will always be perfect.
Well, I wasn't anticipating having this kind of conversation this evening.
No, it's turned into my favorite. It's turned into my favorite show ever. I'm loving this.
I bet it would have been better if I felt something.
It's three blokes down. It's three blokes down the pub.
Well, that's what we should do.
Well, we're doing it now, and the thing is, which is really important. You know, this is why I like Restore Britain's plan to bring back the pubs, because it's these kind of chats are the things that kept that develop us, you know, and the fact that people are witnessing this kind of conversation is a healing for them and for us. It's terrific.
I think it's all horses for courses, and every individual is at different stages in their life and in their evolution and their conscious evolution and their sense of who they are and what their needs may or may not be, if they indeed even know what their needs are. So it's when people are at the right stage to seek further guidance or truth or what have you, they will certainly seek it, won't they? And maybe you would argue that, well, if you leave it too late, then you may have prevented some of the issues or problems that you might be experiencing now because you didn't pursue, you know, an awakening on a different level. Or do you know, I mean, I just want to, seriously, I just want to look at a plant or look at how water flows in a stream, or look at the colors of the skin of a lizard. That's what I live for, because I've got a place where I can do that, but I can't really go there very often. Yeah, you can.
I might come over.
Come over and help me build. I'm going to build a pond out of a load of wine vats, wine barrels.
That's nice.
Yes. You're invited.
Why don't you build a wine vat out of a load of ponds? Anyway, do you know, like, this is this happens to me all the time. I get nagged, right? So a year ago I was nagged, go and watch all the Star Trek films. The last month it's been James Bond, right? Especially The Living Daylights. Last week I got nagged to go back to Tolkien and look at the Lord of the Rings films, and I was watching the Fellowship of the Ring, and Ian, what's his name, plays Bilbo, and he's writing, and it all came back to me, because what we're actually doing is going there and back again, which is Bilbo's book about the Hobbit's journey, right? Really, you know, if you look at Tolkien, 1959, he was interviewed in Amsterdam on the radio, and he said that all of his books were based upon the true history of the earth. And I related that back to John Dee. I think it's connected to him and the secret vaults under Oxford University and all of that. But I was given, I'm looking at it here, actually. I'm just going to get this off the wall. I did a show. I did the Mark Attwood show live at Manchester Monastery twice in 2022, and this wonderful guy came up to me and he gave me this. which is called There and Back Again.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, and I'm just gonna, because I mixed in There and Back Again from Tolkien with Maori language, a thing called dragon riding. Ma ha ka wa ta hi ti ha wa ka ha ma. Right. Each one of every time I do that, each one of those.
Your name's in that.
In language from the Star Nations. That's why.
Precisely, that's what it is, right?
And your name is in that, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the MA, that's a whole other subject. But if you gentlemen will allow me, I'm going to play a poem. Can I do that?
You can do that if I can go for a wee, because I wasn't anticipating.
No, you're always fucking off when I put the poems on. What are you doing?
No, I'm not.
Have some fucking decorum, man.
I can hear you. Well, I can hear you from my bathroom. Is there? You can probably hear me go for a wee. If you can hear me go for a wee, then you know I'm listening to your poem.
This one's only 1 minute long. You ready?
All right. Can I do it afterwards?
Yeah, you can go afterwards. You have to.
All right then.
Ready? Here we go.
There and back again. Ma ha ka wa ta hi. Hi ta wa ka ha ma. There and back again. Do you see? Multi-dimensional beings are we. From the energy of the first light, through the calendar of the light of days, with the veil down, we were in a haze. 1 to 10 and back again. In the darkness we held each other tightly until the light came. The dragon blood, the Taki, the Akashic potentiality. At the speed of memory, we came there and back again. From the I am to the we are. We came far, there and back again.
Beautiful, that was.
Thank you.
That is absolutely stunning.
I'm very proud of it.
Stunning.
Did you see that Robbie Williams film?
Hang on, Dan, let's not go off track. I know what you mean, but no. When I watched that, thank you very much. I mean, all of my poems are channeled. Everything in this book was channeled, mainly with wine, because most of it was written during the lockdowns and stuff. As Alexander said, and I'm not embarrassed to admit that. Why
be embarrassed? Listen, I'm going to say something outright. As I said, some of the most famous channelers I know, some of the biggest YouTube channels, they all smoke weed, they drink wine. Some of them eat red meat from time to time, and they're so terrified that the new age spiritual community won't embrace them. And really, if you're so scared that you're not going to be embraced, then don't put messages out there, because other people's opinions are irrelevant.
I don't want to be embraced.
Don't mean anything.
Yeah, you've got to not give a shit. This is the most important.
People's opinions are just a reflection of where they are in this singularity. It is not going to change your course. It's not going to change your soul path. It's not going to change the narrative on what you agreed to become when you got here. It is just a reflection of other people's densities and whether you can buffer it or not.
People,
that's really
like
important.
artists. Everyone's got one, right? Everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah, like arses, I like that. But let me just tell you this before you go and have a. Well, we'll wrap the show up soon, because we've all got things to do. You need a piss. Alexander's probably got something to do, and I've got children to feed.
When I came on the show tonight, I was hoping we were going to sit here for 5 hours. So,
oh really?
Okay.
Well, I don't mind doing that, but I want to tell you this story. As I was playing that poem, I was I was taken back to a time when I was on the Truth Tour in America in 2022 in October, and I was sharing a car with Tarot by Janine, Bruce Poppy, and his wife Natalie, and we we're on this reservation, and they went into the shop, and I thought I'll just go and stand there. We'd been in the car for fucking hours, and I was like, right, I'm taking my shoes off. I'm just going to I just took my shoes off, stood on the grass, and it was about 10 o'clock in the morning. And this Native American girl just walked up to me, and she just looked at me in the eye, and I went, hello. She went, hello. And then she said, my people say we are walking through a dream we've already had. And then she walked away. And that's what that poem is all about. And that's what we are doing. And that's what the dragon riding with each one of those sounds, ma, ha, ka, wa, ta, they're multi-dimensional sounds. You know, there could be a whole Encyclopedia Britannica in one of those sounds, right? In terms of what it contains, which is why I asked Alexander to do the light language, because it doesn't matter whether you think you've received it, you have. And we're receiving this information all the time from the sun, from
I tell you why.
Ringing in my ears. It's like endless. Like,
I'll tell you why.
Go on.
Because ma, ra, am, I, na, ka. Sanskrit terminology, tonality is some of the first forms of where light language started to come in, but it anchored in the Syrian language, in the ancient Egyptian. And so you are absolutely spot on. And Foxtrot, nothing you have said is not spot on as well. You're spot on. I've just articulated it just in a non-physical way.
Yeah,
so
I like being called Foxtrot. It's quite funny.
It's because it's on the screen.
My surname pseudonym. It's like being called I don't know. It's like being called Starmer. But you don't know anything. You're none the wiser, unfortunately. So it's quite funny hearing myself being called Foxtrot.
Well, anyway,
it's not my own name, obviously.
It's a pleasure to sit with two fantastic human beings. Mark is someone who I admire greatly, and I'm now going to leave you two fabulous gentlemen, but it was an honor to share a space with you, and thank you for this co-creation. I really had some fun, and Mark, keep up the good work, but I will always be your biggest fan.
Well, ditto, mate, and thank you very much for coming on. It's turned into something I didn't expect, and it's beautiful, and I love that, and God bless you all.
Nice to meet you, Alexander.
Foxtrot, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for your co-creation.
Thanks, guys, and thanks everybody for watching. That was a monster. See you later.
Bye.